The Louvre has survived kings, revolutions, and wars. But on a quiet Sunday morning, its fortress was finally breached.
7 minutes. That was all it took to turn the world's most protected museum into a crime scene. Behind the cameras, scanners, and armed guards, a group wearing yellow vests managed to do the unthinkable. Escape through the window with priceless jewels in the very heart of Paris. How could one of the safest places on the planet be so easily fooled? And who are the masterminds behind this heist that humiliated France before the world? Before understanding how the Louvre was challenged in broad daylight, we need to go back in history to the moment a simple Mona Lisa disappeared from its walls and transformed the museum into a symbol of absolute vigilance. For a long time, the Louvre seemed bulletproof, a palace transformed into a museum that appeared to be beyond any risk.
However, this is not the first heist the Louvre has known. In 1911, Vincenzo Peruggia, a simple handyman, took the Mona Lisa off the wall, hid it, and turned it into a global obsession. After a 2-year search, the painting was found in Italy and returned to its place in the museum. Since then, security was overhauled, and the Louvre proved to have earned the status of an impregnable citadel. The art masterpieces and national symbols it housed were kept safe behind layers of protection. Cameras hidden in the walls, locked doors, and minute by minute planned guard routes. The museum ran like clockwork, with controlled access points and a 24/7 operations center. In spite of all this, the unthinkable happened when everyone least expected it. The robbery took place in the Galerie d'Apollon, a hall that houses what remains of the French crown jewels, including necklaces and ceremonial pieces linked to the French nobility. The gallery is not remote. It is located in the museum's inner circle, only 250 meters away from the Mona Lisa. In this area, everything screams secure. Crowds of tourists, thick glass, vibration sensors on the display cases, motion alarms in the corners, and guards who study every movement. It is the one place you would swear no one would dare to rob. And that is exactly why the heist resembled a robbery movie more than an actual incident. But here's the twist. This was not a sophisticated high-tech job with lasers and explosives. It was brilliantly simple. An elevator, a window, a saw, and 7 relentless minutes. It became clear that the team of robbers had done their homework beforehand. They chose Sunday morning, the quietest time of the week, when the flow of people is low and response times are longer. They arrived dressed as French construction workers in their famous yellow vests and ascended a common basket elevator on the same facade. The location was chosen with meticulous care near a construction zone, precisely where an elevator wouldn't look out of place and just far enough from the main flow of guards. Around 9:30 a.m., 3 or 4 men rode the elevator up to the top floor.
They forced the window open using a blowtorch and a power saw.
Once inside the Galerie d'Apollon, they wasted no time.
They went straight to 2 specific display cases with their angle grinders ready.
The sound of the machines roared. In less than 7 minutes, the reinforced glass turned to dust. The target was 9 specific jewels. They took a tiara, a brooch, and a crown that belonged to Empress Eugenie, the wife of Napoleon III, along with other priceless pieces. At that moment, the alarms went off and all security protocols were finally activated. Security acted. They locked down the room to avoid a confrontation and initiated immediate evacuation while awaiting the arrival of the police. However, the delay between the theft and the full response was fatal. That time was all the thieves needed to grab the jewels and, unhurriedly, retrace their path through the window.
Ok, merci.
The escape was swift. They fled on the back of two scooters that were waiting for them, but something went wrong.
In the rush, a 19th century crown, one of the most valuable pieces, was dropped. Authorities later found it in a nearby alley, dropped, damaged, and abandoned on the ground. Inside the Louvre, the police sealed all entrances and the museum was closed. Forensic teams began their work. They collected fingerprints from the elevator and searched for footage from security cameras, both internal and external. The thieves had planned everything. To ensure the basket truck wouldn't incriminate them, they rented it 9 days before the robbery using a false name. When the delivery driver arrived, he was met by two masked men who stole the truck. Next, they painted it and attached a false license plate, erasing any connection to the heist. The police's initial conclusion was swift. Seasoned professionals used a neighboring construction site to break in and escape in a high-level heist. The thieves were last seen heading south, likely on their way to the highway to leave Paris. The first part of their mission was a success, but what comes next is much harder. With all of France on their tail, will they manage to melt down the pieces and turn the robbery into cash? Or was this whole plan for nothing? France awoke in a state of shock. The robbery was not just a crime, it was a blow to national pride, causing an immediate political outcry. President Macron classified the heist as an attack on our history. Opposition leaders, such as Jordan Bardella and Marine Le Pen, echoed the sentiment, calling the event an intolerable humiliation and a wound to the French soul. What is even worse, this is not an isolated case. Since September, the Louvre has become the third major French museum to be broken into. Before it, the National Museum of Natural History and the President Jacques Chirac Museum were hit. This created maximum pressure on the authorities. They need to put an end to this humiliating pattern and calm the French public once and for all. Now, the investigation is a true race against time. Historic pieces like these cannot be sold whole. The only way out for the thieves is to break them up, melt the gold, and recut the gemstones. That is why the first week after a robbery is the most vital. If the jewels are found during this period, they can still be saved. After 7 days, it is most likely that these treasures will have been destroyed and vanished forever. With a treasure worth 800 million euros at stake, the thieves' plan has 3 clear paths, and all of them were calculated with inside help. First, they can simply destroy everything. Sell the gold, sell the diamonds, turning pieces of history into cold, hard cash. Second, and smarter, they can wait. In the art world, insurance companies often offer a large reward, the famous no questions asked payout. If the stolen goods are worth 5 million, they offer 1 million right away. A quick payment to recover the jewels intact. Meanwhile, the French police have few concrete leads, but they have luck on their side. The thieves lift behind the scooters, the basket truck, and a yellow vest worn in the heist. Traces that may hold the key to the criminal's identity. Will France manage to catch the thieves and save the jewels before history is melted down? A question only time can answer.